a man.
That's right.
What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now.
Just as in Wisconsin, so too in New Jersey, teachers, nurses, public workers are in the crosshairs. And they were part of who were fighting back April 4th here in Newark. We had a chance to sit down with Hetty Rosenstein. She's state director of CWA, that's the Communication Workers of America, who represent those public workers in this state. Hetty Rosenstein is the state director of the Communication Workers of America here in New Jersey. It's one of the leading organizations bringing people out to the We Are One rally April 4th. Hetty, thanks so much for taking a moment before the rally begins to tell us what's at stake for your members and what are they facing here in this state.
Well, like what is taking place in the Midwest, in Wisconsin and Indiana and Ohio, here in New Jersey, there's a direct attack on public sector collective bargaining. And we have one of the most conservative governors in the country, Chris Christie, and the governor is directly attacking our right to bargain health care. He's trying to legislate it so we won't be able to negotiate over health care, not negotiate over pension, limit the negotiations around wages. And so very similar to Scott Walker, collective bargaining for the public sector is very much under attack here. The governor is a little bit more subtle about it, but it's very much the same struggle.
Who are your members? What jobs do they do?
Our members are state workers and local and county government workers. And so our members are nurses and social workers, environmental scientists, public defenders, healthcare providers, child care workers, really the broad range of public services our members provide.
Now, Chris Christie, like Scott Walker, says, well, but, you know, we were elected to make change, to cut budgets, to shrink deficits. We've got to have free hands to make the changes that we see our state needs.
Well, first of all, there's nothing in collective bargaining that prevents negotiations that provide for changes. And in fact, CWA has made a healthcare proposal that provides for significant changes in healthcare, not only in terms of what we pay, but much more importantly, or as importantly, in terms of how healthcare services are provided. And it would save hundreds of millions of dollars. So there's nothing that collective bargaining prevents change. That's just false. That's all.
What he says is we are held to ransom by overly powerful unions.
Well, actually, he says that, and he also says we have lush benefits and we're incredibly overpaid. And in fact, we're not overpaid. In New Jersey, our public sector workers make less than they do in the private sector. We struggle like all workers. We've taken a hit like all workers, whether it's wage freezes or furloughs. Like everybody in this country, our members are struggling just like everyone else.
When you look at the private sector and the workers in your area that are in the private sector, how are they doing? And how would they be affected if these changes are put forward or brought into effect?
You know, all workers are really hurting. And the attack on public sector unions is really the end of an attack that started on private sector unions and on working people everywhere. So the fact of the matter is, we need unions. We need democracy at the workplace. And we provide for the gateway to the middle class for women and people of color. That's what public sector unions have done. And that's really what April 4th is all about, right? This event, the assassination of Dr. King, began with a public worker strike and the community coming forward to help those workers achieve collective bargaining rights.
Dr. King said right before he was assassinated, I may not get to the mountaintop, but you may. Talk a bit about what happens after today. Is today a culmination of something or the beginning of something? What happens next?
Well, for CWA, we've been active in trying to do coalition building and community building for many, many years. It's the way we do work. It's how you achieve power. And it's what we believe in. And we were very, very active in the October 2nd rally in Washington. with One Nation. We're building our One Nation coalition partners here, and we remain together and strong. And, you know, we do think that Wisconsin did create a spark and a recognition of what the threats to collective bargaining are. But for us, this struggle continues. It's been going on for a while, and we've got a while to go.
Today's also the day that Barack Obama declared his candidacy for re-election in 2012. Is that part of this mobilization, too?
I think that there is no question. We were very, very active in that campaign, and I think we'll end up being active again. Our governor, Chris Christie, is one of the people who gets mentioned as running for president. I can't imagine a more horrible incident, and it'll be a campaign we'll work very hard for Barack Obama on.
Is there one thing that people outside of New Jersey need to know about Chris Christie, whom they see a lot of places on television?
Yes, he's anti-union. He opposes collective bargaining. He's for the rich. He cut taxes on rich people by $9,000 each while cutting services to those who are most vulnerable. He's bad.
Hetty Rosenstein, thank you so much for being with us. Enjoy GRITtv? Want more people to see it? Well, we are making our program available free to public television stations coast to coast. If you would like to see our show on your local public television station, please give them a call and ask for GRITtv with Laura Flanders. Thanks.